And these people get radicalized, and then they turn violent, and out of paranoia, and drugs was a big part of it. They lose their shit.
What drugs are they doing?
Well, the drugs were not. They were still done sometimes, but they weren't really technically allowed for the members themselves. But Jim Jones was on. He was basically for the last 10 years of his life. It was amphetamines when you get up, barbiturates to go to sleep, and it was every day for 10 years. And,
which is not the best for perspective.
No. And it's that's the thing. That's the thing with Adolf Hitler too.
Yeah.
You keep yourself going that way. And somebody who I had read a little bit about the effects because of the Jonestown story. I read a fair amount about the effects of long-term amphetamine use, the paranoia and mania that it can result. And so as I was getting up to the last episode, I asked one of my buddies, who he was a police officer in SoCal, if he had any ways, if he could figure out, get me some police reports that were incidents where there was usually a husband and father who had taken his family hostage, and specifically if he was hopped up on methamphetamines, that resulted in a murder-suicide. And he got me a big stack of these things. I don't know where he got them or if he was supposed to, but he got these for me, and I was able to read through them. And about half of them, they ended in a murder-suicide. The other half, some of them, the guy got shot by the cops. Some of them he gave up, but about half of them ended in murder-suicide. And as I just read through these, just again and again and again, it became very obvious. This is what happened, except at a larger scale in Jonestown. It's hard for people to kind of accept when you're talking about somebody like Jim Jones, who was a raving lunatic by the end, but he loved his people. He actually did. And people say, well, if he loved them, that's not possible. How could he do that? Those are people who have never been around domestic violence before. It's very complicated. You can have husbands who are absolute monsters to their children and their wife, but they still love them. And it's weird. And they have an emotion, a serious emotional crisis if they leave or something, and it's very complicated.